Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into Chapter 3 of our source material, transforming a standard, kind of dry CLI reference guide into a kinetic, real-world survival manual for your network. We'll be walking through specific examples and breaking down the steps so you can actually use this stuff on the front lines.
Ever stared at a blank router terminal and just panicked? We've all been there, right? That little cursor just blinking at you, mocking you while the pressure mounts. But today, we're taking a day-in-the-life approach. We're going to give you the exact commands to conquer any device with absolute confidence.
All right, let's get into Section 1, Navigating Cisco iOS Modes.
So, kicking things off with your very first login. Understanding your access level here is absolutely crucial. Cisco iOS operates in a strict hierarchy, basically escalating through three main tiers. You land in user exec mode. That's the greater than symbol, which is just read-only. Look but don't touch. To actually get under the hood, you type enable to jump up to privileged exec mode marked by the hashtag. This is your diagnostic hub. And finally, if you need to actually change how the device behaves, you enter global config mode with configure terminal.
Now, the good news? You don't have to memorize every single command. The CLI actually wants to help you. Think of these as built-in time savers. Not sure what to type? Just hit the question mark to explore valid keywords. It literally hands you the options. You can use Tab to autocomplete and save those keystrokes, or Show History to pull up what you just did. And my absolute favorite, using the word do, like do show IP interface brief, to run checks right from inside config mode without having to back all the way out. Total game changer.
Moving on to Section 2, Day 1 Device Hardening.
Okay, picture this. You've just unboxed a brand new switch. Before that thing ever touches your production network, you have to lock it down. Here's your Day 1 hardening checklist, and the order here really matters. First, set an enable secret password. Second, run service password encryption so you don't have plain text passwords sitting in your configs. Third, secure your console line. Fourth, set an exec timeout so if you walk away, the session auto-logs out. And fifth, save your work.
Which brings us to a massive golden rule from Chapter 3. Never, ever use copy run start before setting a password. Why? Because if you save an unsecured config, you've just committed that vulnerability directly to flash memory. Even if the router reboots, it wakes up completely wide open. Just don't do it.
So you really need to understand the fundamental difference here. Your running config is active in RAM right now. It's doing the work, but it's volatile. A quick power blip, and it's gone. Your startup config, on the other hand, lives safely in NVRAM and survives a reboot. When you run copy running config startup config, you're bridging that exact gap.
Let's transition to Section 3, Real-World Network Configuration.
Let's walk through a real-world example from the text. You've just connected a new WAN link to your ISP on a gigabit Ethernet port. Here is the exact workflow to bring it up. First, jump into interface config mode. Next, and please don't skip this, add a description. Documenting that this is your ISP link will save your future self so much grief. Then, assign the IP address and subnet mask from your provider. And finally, since Cisco interfaces are physically down by default, you wake it up with no shutdown. Boom, clean and logical.
Now, what if you need to get a whole HR department online? You obviously can't give every single desktop a public IP, so we use Port Address Translation, or PAT. It's basically like a receptionist routing external calls to a bunch of internal extensions. To set this up, follow this 5-step sequence. Create an ACL to match your inside subnet. Configure PAT to overload your WAN interface. Explicitly mark your inside and outside interfaces, and then verify the whole thing with show IPNet translations. Just like that, your office is online.
Which naturally leads us to Section 4, Troubleshooting Connectivity Loss.
Because let's face it, we don't just build networks, we fix them when they break. When the red lights start flashing and users are screaming that the internet is down, do not panic. Just follow this escalation path. Start broad. Use Show IP Interface Brief to identify exactly which interface is down. Zoom in on the culprit with Show Interfaces to check for physical layer errors, like high CRC errors pointing to a bad cable. If the physical layer looks good, move up the stack. Inspect the IP layer with Show IP Interface to check if a rogue access control list is suddenly dropping your packets.
Now, if you need to go deeper and look at the actual packets, you'll need debug commands. But listen up, debugs can be incredibly dangerous. The Safe Packet Debug workflow says you must always create a scoped ACL for just a single host first. Then, apply that ACL to your debug command. This filters the noise, letting you safely observe drops without totally maxing out your router's CPU.
And that brings us to another non-negotiable rule. Always turn off all debugs when you're done. Running undebug all immediately after you finish is mandatory. Leaving debugs running in the background on a production device is practically a guaranteed way to melt your router down. Just turn them off.
Finally, Section 5, the golden sequence.
We want to leave you with the ultimate takeaway from this survival guide. Imagine you're dropped into an unfamiliar network during a massive outage, flying completely blind. Running these 5 specific commands in this exact order will give you instant, total situational awareness.
Here's the sequence. Step 1, show version to check the hardware and see why it last rebooted. Step 2, show IP interface brief to scan all your physical links. Step 3, show IP route to check the routing table. Step 4, show running config to see exactly how the device is configured right now. And Step 5, show log to service any recent security events or flapping interfaces. Honestly, this sequence answers like 80% of the questions you'll have about a network.
Armed with these commands, the CLI shortcuts, and a real-world approach to hardening and troubleshooting, you are officially ready to jump into the driver's seat. So here's my question to you. Are you absolutely certain your core switch is secure right now, or is it time to go run the golden sequence and find out for sure? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.